Recently I was on eBay looking for a universal learning remote control for a friend, and I came across this device. It's a voice activated remote control and it was only £20 plus postage, so I got hold of one. I thought it'd be an interesting thing to review. So here's the box. It's by a company called Hotech and it's the Voice Me. And here's the device itself. It's a UFO shaped device. It plugs into a mains power supply, and on the front it's got 4 illuminated buttons. On the front there is an infrared receiver and there's 3 infrared transmitters on the outside. On the top is a microphone inside that hole there, and if I flip it over, underneath you'll see that on the bottom there in the middle is a speaker. It's a very lightweight device, but it definitely feels like it should cost more than £20, so I got the feeling it's some sort of closeout or end-of-line deal. It comes with nice instruction booklets and quick start guides, and of course it comes from a company called Hotech, so how can you really go wrong? The box promises much. It says create the infinite possibility for life, and it will learn up to 30 different commands, and it says it's going to be 95% plus accuracy when recognising those commands. So let's give it a go. The Voice Me stays live and activated 24 hours a day waiting for your command. So the first thing you need to do is give it a name that it can recognise so it knows you're speaking to it. I decided to call mine Computer, so I felt a little bit like I was on Star Trek.
Please say triggering command.
Computer.
Please repeat.
Computer. So that's that done. Now to give it its first command.
Please say voice command 1.
Television on.
Please repeat.
Television on.
Please aim controller at receiver, then press button.
Right, so let's try that out. Computer. Television on. So that works great. Now my TV takes a bit of time to start up anyway, you can't blame the remote for that, so let's try another command. Now this is where things get really useful because the Voice Me can send out 3 different infrared instructions with one voice command, so let's try that out.
Please say voice command 2.
Sky News.
Please repeat.
Sky News.
Please aim controller at receiver, then press button. Please say voice command 3.
BBC One.
Please repeat.
So I don't want to labour the
BBC
point
One.
too much here. So for example, if I wanted BBC One, I'd normally type 101. So that's what I point at the Voice Me and tell it that the command for that is BBC One. Likewise with Sky News being on 501. So let's try that out. Computer. BBC One.
In all of its Airbus A380 flights suffered.
Computer. Sky News.
Really good news, yeah. Thank you very much indeed.
Officials say none of these
Computer. Television on.
all 6 of its
Now you'll notice that the TV went off when I said TV on, and that's because my Samsung uses the same button for both. So I think it's best that I erase that command and rename it.
Please say command.
Television on.
Erase voice command 1. Yes. Press erase. Erased.
So from there I'd have to re-record a new command that was more suitable, such as television power. One other nice feature is that whenever you speak to it, it can mute the television and 2 other devices. Computer. And of course it does this so that your voice can be heard clearly above the sound of the television. And of course you don't have to restrict your remote controls to just one device at a time. For example, if I want my amplifier and switch box to be controlled off just one voice command, all I need to do is get the different remote controls out and point them at the Voice Me one after the other.
Controller at receiver, then press button.
And then with just one simple voice command I can get multiple devices to operate. Computer. Mac Mini. And then I might as well add a command in that just relates to that particular device. Computer. Boxy. So overall then, to summarise, the Hotech Voice Me is a surprisingly good piece of technology. It managed to recognise virtually everything that I said to it, even though sometimes I had to raise my voice a little bit more than I would have liked, and it does get to replace some of the more common commands from my remote controls, although it's only 30 of the commands, and there's certain things like volume up, volume down, which would be inappropriate to try and use, because you'd have to just keep repeating yourself. And also, when you get to about 15 or 20 commands, it's hard to remember what you've said. Was it TV on or was it television on? So you have to write them down on a piece of paper. And finally, when I went back to leave feedback on the eBay auction, I found the price had gone up to £200, so it appears that I've got a bit of a bargain. It must have been a misprice. And I can't really recommend this at £200, because if you're spending that kind of money, you might as well go and get yourself a really good Harmony remote control, which is what I normally use. And also, that stops you shouting across the room like a lunatic. Computer! Anyway, thanks for watching.